Hi, boys and girls. Mrs. Deter here. I am ready to do some writing with you today. Let's warm up with the song. I'll sing a part first, and then you repeat after me. Hello, friends. How are you? I'm so glad to have you here at school. Are you ready? Then let's write. Spread your wings. Let's take flight. Open those brains. Use them well. Thinking sunny yellow. I can tell. That was a great job, boys and girls. I'm so proud of you. I like to sing and get in a good mood before I work hard. I'm sitting up tall and following all of my rules that Wormy taught me. And I am ready to learn something new. Now, you're never going to believe what happened to me. I came downstairs last Friday, and there was someone on my desk. Who do you think it was? If you said Georgia, you're right. But guess what? There was somebody else with Georgia. Georgia found a friend. Oh my goodness, are you ready to see who Georgia found? Look who she found. She found Froggy. Froggy is saying hello. Georgia was looking out the window and she saw this little green frog jumping up and down outside. So she went outside and made friends and brought this little frog into me. So I came downstairs and they were jumping and having fun. And Georgia said, I can tell them, she wrote a sentence. Yay! She's been watching and practicing, and she wanted me to show you what she wrote. So let me move myself down here so you can see exactly what Georgia wrote. She said, Freddie Frog jumped. Freddie Frog jumped. She was so excited because Freddie Frog was jumping. But I said to her, Georgia, that is a great sentence, but it's a skinny sentence. Can you make that sentence fat? Georgia said, what are you talking about? And I said, I can give you a hand with that. Boys and girls, I have a hand, and on each of my fingers is a question word. We know that good readers ask themselves questions. Whenever they're reading, they ask who, what, when, where, and why, sometimes even how, when they're talking about the story, so that they can really understand the story. Well, good writers ask those questions too. They ask the 5 W's: who, what, when, where, and why. So I have them written on my hand, just like I write with my hand. Now, I didn't write them on my real hand. I wrote them on my pretend hand so that I remember when I am writing to ask myself those questions. Now, when I look at my paper, I can already see that Georgia knew who was jumping, right? It was Freddie Frog because she said Freddie Frog jumped. She told me who it was, and notice how I have capitals there. Georgia put them there. And then she told me what Freddie Frog did. Freddie Frog jumped. But I said, Georgia, what if I asked the question when? And Georgia said, oh, it was last week that she jumped. Last week when we had that big rain. Do you remember when the hurricane came through? It started at the bottom of the United States and it came up to us and we had lots and lots of rain. So she said, oh, last week Freddie Frog jumped. Okay, now I have a better sentence, she said. I can write a longer sentence. And I said, oh, wait a minute. Hold up there, Georgia. Let's look at this question right here. Where did you find Freddie Frog jumping? And Georgia said, oh, well, that's easy. In the driveway, of course. And I said, okay, that's awesome. And Georgia said, I can write a really good sentence now. That's fat. I'm done. Last week, Freddie Frog jumped in the driveway. And I said, you know what, Georgia? You are right. That is a better sentence. but we can make it even better. Remember, our questions are 5 questions. So we have who, when, and where. What else can we ask before we write our sentence? Oh, we can ask, why was Freddy Frog jumping and so excited in the driveway? Because it was fun. It was fun. You've probably done that too, haven't you? Jumped in rain puddles. And that is my last question that I asked Georgia. I said, Georgia, why was Freddy Frog jumping in the driveway last week and having fun? What was he jumping in? What? Was he jumping in the bushes? Was he jumping in the grass? And Georgia said, no, silly. He was jumping in huge puddles. So I wrote huge puddles in my box. Do you see that? Look how I wrote that word huge. I made every letter a capital. I wonder why I did that. Do you know? I did that because the word huge, I wanted it to look huge. So I made all the letters huge. Do you get it? Okay, so now I have Freddy Frog jumped. And I am ready to write my rainbow super sentence. To do that, I am going to come to my very special rainbow paper. We don't want plain old black paper for this assignment. We want our rainbow paper. So I have my boxes up top with my 5 questions, and it says, who? Freddy Frog. When? Last week. Where? Driveway. Why? Fun. And what? Huge puddles. I need to put all of that information together to make my rainbow sentence. So before I even start writing, I'm going to think to myself, what would make sense? What's a good way I can start that sentence? I think I could use last week. I could say, last week, since it was a while ago, Freddy Frog jumped. What did he jump in? He was in my driveway, right? And he jumped in huge puddles. So I could say, Freddy Frog, wait a minute. Nope, that's not right. Last week, Freddy Frog jumped in huge puddles in the driveway because it was fun. Now I have my rainbow sentence. Let's try to write it. Okay, I'm going to start. I'm going to tilt my paper just a little bit like good writers do. And I'm going to start writing in red because I know that Freddy Frog jumped. Okay, now you do not have to do this with me, but you are going to be writing your own fat, super rainbow sentence. So Freddy Frog, I'm capitalizing his name. Just watch right now. And I know that he jumped. So I have my proper noun, my person, and my verb, what he did. And I have that in red because that is who did it and what they did. Freddy Frog jumped. Now, I am not going to put a period because I'm going to go on. Oh no, what did I do wrong? I forgot to put last week. Can I change that around? Let's think. Can I say Freddy Frog jumped in huge puddles in my driveway last week because it was fun? You better believe I can. So if you make a mistake, you can always fix it. Let's see if I can come up with any other ways to write that sentence. Could I say, last week, Freddy Frog had fun jumping in huge puddles in my driveway? Yes, I could. All right, so what would be the best way for me to write this sentence? Because I have Freddy Frog jumped. Freddy Frog jumped in huge puddles in my driveway last week and had fun. How about that? Freddy Frog jumped in So I'm going to write in huge puddles next. So I'm going to use my purple. And I'm going to keep reading this sentence back to myself. That's really important as readers and writers. Freddie Frog jumped in huge puddles. What did he jump in? I'm looking at my question. He jumped in huge, and I wrote this lowercase, but you could also make it uppercase like I showed you. In huge puddles. Okay, in huge puddles in my driveway. Let's not forget that. So my driveway is green. So I'm going to use my green marker to make my rainbow sentence. Freddie Frog jumped in huge puddles in my driveway. Or I could say the driveway. It doesn't really matter. I love that trick word though. Looks like M-I, but it's M-Y. Look at this word driveway, friends. That is a compound word and a two-syllable word. Driveway, driveway. Freddie Frog jumped in huge puddles in my driveway. When? Last week when we had the big rain come through. So I'm going to look at that box and it's blue. So I'm going to use my blue. Freddie Frog jumped. Do you see how I keep going back to the beginning? Freddie Frog jumped in huge puddles in my driveway last week. I'm going to make this blue. Ooh, that word ends in a blend, S-T. 2 letters, and you hear both sounds. Last week. And the last thing I need to say is what? He had fun, right? Now, I want that to all be part of this sentence. I could make another sentence with that. I could say, Freddie Frog jumped in huge puddles in my driveway last week. Period. He had fun! Exclamation point. I could do it that way. But I'm going to make one long super sentence today. One thing I want to warn you of, though, don't make your sentences too long because we call that a run-on sentence. If you go on and on and on and on and on, and you don't break your sentences into parts so they make sense, we call that a run-on sentence, and that's not good either. So you have to learn the balance. Not a skinny sentence, not a run-on sentence, but a nice fat sentence with lots of details. This one could be 2, but I'm going to choose and make it 1. All right, I'm ready for my orange. Freddie Frog jumped in huge puddles in my driveway last week, and I'm going to use that connecting word because I'm going to keep this one sentence. And had, I'm going to say lots of because I want my sentence to be even better. So I'm going to say and had lots of, trick word, it's not UV, it's OF, lots of fun. CVC, so easy. I know you know how to write that. What punctuation? Exclamation point. Because it's exciting. Georgia thought it was exciting, and little Freddie Frog really thought it was exciting. Okay, let's sing our song that I taught you before that all good writers sing to make sure they have everything they need in their sentence. You need to have your 2 fingers ready, and it goes like this. Touch beginning, touch the end. Is your sentence good, my friend? Do you have a capital? Did you use a little dot in the very ending spot? Yes, we did. We used an exclamation point. Did you use a finger space? Give yourself a, do you remember? Smiley face. Whee! Stretch your words out nice and long. Do you like my little song? What word did we stretch out? Oh, we stretched out a lot of words here. We talked about driveway, drive and way, compound word. Look at this word jumped. I didn't say Freddie Frog jump in huge puddles. That wouldn't make sense. I said jumped. We have an ED at the end of that word. And in Wilson Foundations, we call that a suffix. S is a suffix and ED is also a suffix. We use that and it makes that T sound, and then it makes that word make sense. Freddie Frog jumped. I don't say jumped, I say jumped. Okay. Read your sentence back to you. Then let's give a big whoop-hoo. Let's read it back. This is the most important part, boys and girls. You saw how many times I was reading it as I wrote it. I'm going to read it one final time and give it one big double check to make sure I have what I need. Freddie Frog jumped in huge puddles in my driveway last week and had lots of fun. Oh, it looks really, really good. I think we got it. Did you notice, though, when I was reading that sentence, how I pointed to every word? I wonder if we could read that sentence with scooping. I'm not talking about ice cream, Georgia. Georgia thought I was talking about ice cream and she got all excited. I'm talking about scooping with our finger so that we can read our writing more fluently and we can read with expression. When we read fluently, that means reading like we talk, not like this. We read like this. Do you see the difference? So watch as I scoop this. Read it along with me. Freddie Frog jumped in huge puddles in my driveway last week and had lots of fun. Did you see? It sounded a lot better, didn't it? Okay, boys and girls, round of applause. Georgia is so happy and Froggy is so happy because we wrote a fat sentence and taught them how to do it. Now it is your turn. You get to write a sentence and you can write about whoever you want, but don't make it a skinny sentence. Make it a fat sentence. Make it a great sentence. Make it a rainbow super sentence. Here's one thing I do want to tell you. You do not have to use every single box if you can't figure out how to make your sentence make sense. Okay? But you should always use at least 2 or 3 of the boxes when you're writing sentences. I showed you all 5 today just because we wanted to write the very best sentence that we could for Froggy in Georgia. So you are going to write a sentence on your paper, and I attached this very special piece of paper to your lesson so you can print out a super sentence paper. And then you are going to upload it into Lincoln Learning so that we can all see it. And I'm especially going to share it with Georgia and Froggy. Oh, I can't wait to see them. Oh, boys and girls, just like always, you have done such a wonderful job paying attention. I know writing is hard and it takes a long time, but guess what? As you become a better writer, you're also going to become a better reader. And pretty soon, you are going to be ready for second grade. It's going to go like that. So work hard and make me proud. Have a sunshiny, sunshiny day. Bye, friends.